Viewers, post your city and the time where you are. Let's see who is watching from sunrise and who is tuned in under midnight lamps. The thud against Mark Adler's front door feels like a hammer hitting his last nerve. It is 5 in the morning, that strange violet hour when the sky looks half asleep and the only creatures that should be active are owls and insomniac raccoons. Mark is definitely not a dawn person. He is barely human before his first coffee. But another thud lands, then another, like a squadron of passive-aggressive woodpeckers. And now he is awake, barefoot, on a cold floor, peering through the peephole. What he sees would be comical, if it weren't his life. Karen Blake, HOA president and self-anointed queen of Lakeview Meadows, is dressed in designer power walk gear that probably costs more than his car. In one manicured hand, a clipboard, in the other a stack of red warning tags. She smacks one onto his neighbor Trent's door with the flair of a witch casting a spell. Then she sees Mark and gives him a nod that feels less like neighborly acknowledgement and more like a general inspecting her troops. He opens the door. The morning air is crisp and carries that smell of wet grass, and something faker lies. Karen sticks one of her tags onto his own door: danger. Do not enter. Potential toxic mold hazard. Mark stares at it, thinking it looks more like a prop from a bad disaster movie than an official notice. Bit early for arts and crafts, isn't it? He rasps. She answers with a sugary voice edged in glass. This is a public health emergency. She drops a scientific word, Stachybotrys chartarum, with the practiced flourish of someone who rehearsed it in the mirror. Historians still argue whether bureaucrats invent fancy words just to make normal people feel small, but in that moment Mark is convinced. To him it sounds like a Harry Potter spell gone wrong. English, Karen, he mutters. She sighs. Black mold, Mark. Toxic black mold. Right then a plain white van pulls to the curb. Out climb 2 men in ever-pure environmental vests, lugging briefcases like knockoff FBI agents. At 5 in the morning, they look far too serious, surgeon serious, except they're not carrying scalpels, but clipboards and portable vacuums. Karen whispers, entry is forbidden until Everpure conducts an air quality assessment. Mark's gut buzzes with alarm. An HOA builder key is for fire or flood, not for mold emergencies. Using it for this is illegal. But the way Karen vibrates with fake concern tells him rules are just set dressing in her little kingdom. She pats his arm with mock sympathy, then power walks to the next house, tags fluttering like scarlet flags of conquest. By 8 a.m., the Everpure crew returns, pressing hard for him to sign a $5,000 remediation estimate. They wave a little beeping box like it's a magic wand claiming his home air is deadly. Sarah, his wife, bites her lip. She's already Googling symptoms, convinced they're breathing poison. Mark sees the scam for what it is, a shakedown wrapped in legalese. But as he shuts the door on their empty threats, he knows the battle has only begun. The red tag on his door isn't paper, it's a declaration of war. Mark doesn't waste his 3 hours of breathing room. Instead of pacing in panic, he heads to a craft store, aisles of glitter and yarn mocking his mission. His basket looks like a kid's failed birthday party: 3 spy cameras the size of sugar cubes, invisible gift wrap tape, and a bottle of concentrated blue food dye. The cashier raises an eyebrow. Mark grins, mutters bird watching, and leaves. If historians still argue whether paranoia or ingenuity built civilization, Mark is leaning proudly toward the paranoid side. Back home, Sarah crosses her arms, skeptical. Are you starting a detective agency? She asks. He holds up the tape. Nope, just outsmarting crooks. He tapes a tiny seal over the seam of the main air vent, places a paper towel inside, and drips one dark blue dot of food coloring onto it. The idea is simple. If anyone opens that vent to plant fake mold, the tape will break and their puff of mist will blow dye onto the back of the white grate. An invisible booby trap, part science fair, part spite. He positions the cameras like a movie director, one tucked into a plant by the door, one aimed at the vent, another high on the cabinets. Their motion activated, sending alerts straight to his phone. He documents everything in a pocket log, timestamps photos, even receipts from the craft store. It feels silly, but he suspects silly might just save him. 2 quiet days pass. His neighbor Trent folds quickly, handing Everpure $5,000 after being shown a conveniently blackened petri dish. Mark feels a pang. Trent is a good guy, just too trusting. But on the 3rd morning, the trap is sprung. A call from the HOA claims there's a water main issue urging evacuation. Mark and Sarah dutifully drive off, then double back, parking down the block. His phone buzzes with a live feed. The front door clicks. A builder key turns. In swagger Gary, the Everpure bruiser, and his jittery sidekick. No vests this time, just 2 guys breaking in. Make sure this one comes back black as night, Gary mutters. They open the vent, snap the tape seal, and spray a fine mist inside. Right on cue, the camera zoom catches it, a faint blue smudge blooming on the grate, proof that something unnatural has happened. Gary notices it too. He frowns, rubs at it, fails. "Forget it," he growls, rattled. But before he can bolt, the lock turns again. In steps Karen, clipboard in hand, builder key dangling from the door. She freezes. 2 officers are sitting casually on the couch, body cams blinking red. Her clipboard slips, papers flutter like defeated snowflakes. Inspector Singh's voice is calm but cutting. "Posting fake health tags isn't an emergency, it's a crime." Officer Garcia adds, "Interior entry needs consent or a warrant. HOA rules don't change that." Outside backup units hum at the curb. Inside, the Everpure crew pale to paper. Mark walks up his own path, feeling like a director watching actors blow their lines. The blue smudge on his grate, his silly little food coloring trick, has just transformed into Exhibit A. The living room transforms into a crime lab. Inspector Singh snaps on gloves, carefully bagging the grate with its faint blue speck, the planted petri dish, and the spray bottle the Everpure duo carried. Officer Garcia takes calm notes, his tone polite but edged with steel. The scammers look like schoolboys caught cheating. Kevin, the jittery one, breaks first, mumbling that Karen made us do it, while Gary sits rigid, jaw clenched, calculating escape routes he no longer has. On Mark's laptop, Singh pulls up a folder of HOA emails. They paint a clear trail, vague health alerts building into mandatory inspections, all pointing residents to Everpure. Sarah leans against the wall, arms crossed, shaking her head in disbelief. For years, Karen wielded power through newsletters and fines, but now her words are evidence copied to a police thumb drive. By the next HOA meeting, the whole neighborhood knows. The clubhouse is crammed, neighbors clutching Everpure invoices like losing lottery tickets. Karen, wearing her crisp white blazer, tries to steer the agenda toward mailbox paint colors, but the crowd isn't having it. Mrs. Gable, usually known for baking cookies, stands furious with a $5,000 bill in her trembling hands. Voices rise. People wave their own invoices. The room buzzes like a hive ready to swarm. Mark stands quietly until the crowd hushes. He lays out the truth. Everpure's owner is the treasurer's brother-in-law. The inspections were rigged. The police have video of planted dishes. When Karen screeches lie, he drops the hammer body cam footage, emails, and lab reports proving the petri dishes were pre-seeded with toxic mold. Bill, reading the treasurer, collapses under the weight of guilt, confessing Karen orchestrated everything for $1,000 kickbacks per house. He even forwards her damning text to the entire community list in real time. The room explodes. Neighbors shout thief and criminal. Karen's mask cracks. She stands pale, paralyzed, her reign collapsing in minutes. Soon after, police arrest her quietly at home. No power walk outfit, no clipboard armor, just handcuffs and silence. The Everpure office raid uncovers stacks of blank invoices and a neat ledger showing every house build, every kickback marked with her initials. Fraud in black and white. Weeks later, plea deals end the saga. Karen, Bill, and Dennis Cole avoid prison, but face crushing fines, probation, and a lifetime ban from any board. Insurance forces full refunds. Trent shows up, grinning, waving his reimbursement check like a trophy. And at a new HOA meeting, neighbors passed the Adler Amendment, no emergency entry without a city order or judge's warrant period. Life drifts back into routine lawns, trimmed trash bins, rolled out, but the air feels lighter. Neighbors chat more, watching out for each other. What began with a ridiculous red tag and a thud at dawn ends with something rarer, a neighborhood reborn from mistrust into community. The wind down begins, and so the tale softens. The flashing lights fade, the shouting subsides, and the neighborhood exhales. The grass grows evenly across quiet lawns. Fences stand without tags, and the only early morning thuds are newspapers landing softly on porches. The once feared clipboard is gone, replaced by the hum of sprinklers and the laughter of children weaving through bicycles at dusk. In this calm, Mark finds what he wanted all along, not power, not victory, but peace inside his own walls. If there is a lesson, it rests not in the cleverness of tape or food coloring, but in the reminder that even small acts of defiance can guard something as fragile and priceless as home. The bullies may have rules and titles, but neighbors with courage and evidence have something stronger. Tonight, let that thought settle with you as steady as twilight. The worst is over. The locks are your own again. Sleep easy, friends.